Okay guys, today we're going to look at mathematics. On mathematics, we're going to look at cubic equation, right? With cubic equation, I know you guys struggle with cubic equation, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start by doing one for you and tell you what I've done, because it's going to be very easy, very unstressful, right? It's going to be very easy, very straightforward, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do one equation, and then after that I'm going to show you what I did, and that way I believe it's going to be much easier for you to follow, right? So okay, so let me use this one here. Let me use this equation. So they've given us the equation here. They're saying write down the coordinates of the y-intercept. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for this number 2, which had 5 marks, right? So they want us to calculate the x-intercept of the equation. So the roots of this equation are our x-intercept, right? So before we do anything, the first thing that we have to do is to find the one root, right? We can use trial and error method and check if one root is going to be correct, right? So let me just try to put in 1. If I put 1 here, is going to be 1, here is going to be -1, here is going to be -1, here is going to be +1. So this is 0, right? So if x is equals to 1, this is my root. So it means that x minus 1 is our root, right? Is our factor. X is equals to 1 is our root, and then our factor is x minus 1. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to write it in the factor form. So I know that my f of x was what? My f of x was x to the 3. Let me just do this one. It wants to predict for me. It wants to complain about my handwriting. Okay, so it's x to the 3 minus x squared minus x plus 1. All right, so the method that I'm going to use here, I call it the M method. All right, I call it the M method. Okay, so I'm going to use the M method. Okay, let's look at it. So what I'm going to do is to write this factor that I found using the trial and error method. Sometimes they will give it to us. So it means that I'm going to have what? I'm going to have our x minus 1. That is our f of x. Right? Our f of x is x minus 1, and then into, then I will divide the first factor, the first number on the equation, by the first term. So it's going to be x to the 3 divided by x, which is going to be x squared. And then in between here is where I'm going to have my m, because I told you I'm using the M method. It's the easiest, fastest, and very easy method, right? Okay, so and then the last one, I'm going to divide this one by the last number here. So 1 divided by -1 is going to give me -1. So there we are, right? So let me rewrite it in a nice way. It's x minus 1 and it's x squared plus mx minus 1. All right, so after that, what do I focus on? I focus on something that is going to give me my m. If I have my m now, I'm done. You can see that this will be a quadratic equation, which we are familiar with factorizing, right? Okay, so it means that we need to find this m. So I'm going to make a note about this one here, the x squared and its coefficient. The most important thing that I'm out for is the coefficient of x squared. All right, the coefficient of x squared. So I'm going to look here, where am I going to get x squared? If I multiply this and this, I get x to the 3, which is this one. So it won't have anything to do, it won't help me. But if I multiply this and this, will give me x squared. So I'm going to have -1, because if I multiply this -1, okay, let me just write it as -x squared, right? Let me just write it as -x squared, right? It's this multiplied by this, and then again, if I multiply this and this, I still get my x squared, right? So it's going to be mx squared. So it's going to be positive plus mx squared, and then it should be equals to the -x squared. It should be equals to the -x squared. Remember, I should be able to move from here back to this one. So it means that everything that gives me x squared should be equal to this coefficient, right? So now I can easily solve for x, because x is not my variable. I'm not solving for x, so I can divide by x both sides, because I don't need it, right? So we have -1 plus m equals -1. So when I take 1 to the other side, it's going to be m is equals to 1, right? M is equals to -1. Okay, so I had -x yes, negative, and then yes, it's going to be m is equals to -1 plus 1. So our m is going to be 0. So it means that the equation is x minus 1 into x squared minus 1. All right, so that is my equation. All right, that is my equation. Let's see if you want to multiply this, it will give us back this one. So it's going to be this multiplied by this, which is x to the 3, this multiplied by this, which is going to be minus x, and then this and this going to be minus x squared, and this going to be plus 1. So yes, it gives us, right, if you arrange it, it's going to be x squared minus x to the 3 minus x squared minus x plus 1. So yes, it gives us. So I have got x minus 1 and I've got x squared minus 1. So this one is x minus 1 and then x minus 1 or x plus 1. All right, so it means that x is 1 or x is -1. Here we've got two equal roots, right? So there we are. That is how we factorize this one, right? This is how we factorize this one. It's very straightforward, right? It's very, very straightforward, right? So I'm expecting you to understand this. So let me show you how you should understand this one, all right? Let me show you how you should understand this one. Okay, let's say we've got a x to the 3 plus bx squared plus c x plus d. All right, so this is going to be what I want you to understand, right? So let's see if maybe we're given that d, let's say the factor, we've got p x plus let's say plus q is our factor, right? The cpx plus q is our factor. Remember, x is our variable, so we've got coefficient and a constant there, right? So it means that if those are our factor, what do? We come here and see the factor here, which is px, right? So px plus q, px plus q. There we are, all right? And then the second factor there, okay? So the second factor, guys, I don't know it because this a here, I don't want to write these values anymore, right? So I'm just gonna write it like this. I'm just gonna write it like let's see, but it should be x squared, right? And then here we should have an x, all right? So let me just we should have x squared there, and here we should have an x, and then the last one should be a constant, all right? So I've got p, okay, let me use t, and then our m here, the one that we have simplified before, and then the last number is going to be the constant, right? So this is a trinomial, right? A constant, we can call it what? We can call p, q, r. Sorry, I can call it r, right? So there we are, all right? So now the next thing that we have to solve, because these ones are easy to find, the one which is a bit challenging is this one. That is our challenge, right? So we know that we've got our x squared here, all right? We've got our x squared there, all right? So I know where do I get the x squared here on the second equation. The x squared, I get it from multiplying the first term and the one with this one, and then this one here and this one, all right? So let me show you. It's going to be p and the m are the constant, and then x multiplied by x is x squared, and then q and t are the constant, q and then t, and then x squared is equals to the second one is, it should be give us this one. So these two, when I multiply them, they should bring me back to this one. So it's going to be is equals to b x squared, all right? And then x squared, I can divide by it both sides because it's not our variable here. We're not solving for it. So I know that p m plus q t is equals to b, all right? So this is what I need you to understand, all right? So if I've got let's see, okay, so there it is. This is what I need you to understand, all right? So now you can easily solve for m by taking, this is a constant, remember, you will take it to the other side, and then you can divide by p both side, and then you will have your m, and then you can just go and put it there. Right? Okay, so again, let's do it practically with a real question. Right? Let me do what I've taught you here with the real question. Right? Let's do it with a real question. Okay, so the real question that I'm going to choose is going to be this one. Yes, let's start with this one. Where is it? Where did it go? Okay, I tried to paste it here, it didn't come out. Okay, let me do it again. So it's going to be, which one? Yes, here it is. Okay, yes, so there it is. Right? So I'm going to use the very same method. Right? So because they've given us that proof that this one is a factor, so already I know that this one is my factor. Right? I know that that one is my factor already, because they said we should prove that this x minus 2 is a factor. So how do we prove it? We can just substitute 2 here. So it's going to be 2 into 2 to the power of 3 minus 23 into 2 squared plus 80 into 2 minus 84. Right? So you punch this into your calculator, it should give you 0. Right? Once it gives you 0, then you have proved that it's a factor. Right? You have proved that it's a factor. So now let's factorize the equation. Right? Now the second question, they want us to factorize the equation. Now we are going to prove what I've shown you. Right? We're going to apply what I've taught you today. Right? So it shouldn't be a worry. You should be able to do this, but let me do it for you first. Right? Okay, so it's going to be f of x is equals to 2x to the 3 minus 23 x squared plus 80x minus 84. All right, so now let's simplify. Right, let's simplify. So to simplify, they are saying proof or other ends or otherwise factorize. So we have to factorize. Right, already we know our factor. We know one factor, which is what? Which is x minus 2, which is x minus 2. Right, and then after that, what is our factor? So we're going to divide this one by the first one. So 2x squared, 2x to the 3 divided by x is going to be 2x squared. All right, and then the middle one is the one that have got m that we don't know. All right, and the last term I'm going to see this one divided by this one. So what is 84 divided by 2? 84 divided by 2 is going to give me 42. It's going to be plus 42. So there we are. Now all we need to solve is m. All right, all we need to solve is m. So now let's solve for our m. Okay, so if I am to solve for m, remember the most important thing is going to be this coefficient here. Remember the coefficient here, which is b, is going to be our subject of the formula. So I can start by it is fine. So I can say negative 23 is equals to, right? And then what gives me x squared on this equation? What gives me x squared is this one and this one and this one and this one only, right? Those are the two things that gives me x squared. The rest will never give me x squared. So that's going to give me x or x to the 3 or a constant, right? So the only thing that gives me x squared is that one that I've shown you. So now let's do it. So it's going to be this one, I've got coefficient of 1, so it's going to be 1 here, the one which is a coefficient multiplied by m, the coefficient, so it's going to be m. It's going to be m, and then the next one is going to be this one here multiplied by this one here. So it's 2 multiplied by negative 2, which is going to be negative 4, right? 2 multiplied by negative 2, which is going to be negative 4. So it's going to be minus 4. So now we are going to bring 4 to the other side. It's going to be negative 23 plus 4 is equals to m. So our m is going to be negative 19. So that is our m. It means that our equation of f of x can be written as f of x is equals to x minus 2 and then 2x squared minus 19m. And then what is the last term? The last term is plus 42. Alright, so now we just need to factorize this one. You can use quadratic, it's fine because it's a trinomial, but let me factorize it. Going to be x minus 2, and then the factors of 84. Factors of 84 is what? Factors of 84 that have got the sum of 19. It cannot be 17 and 2. It cannot be 17 and 2. This is 34. And then it cannot be 16 and 3. That's 48. It cannot be 15 and 4. That's 60. And then 14 and it's 19 years. 14 and 5, that's 70. And then 15 and 15 and 15 and 4, I've already 13 and 6. 13 and 6 will give me 8. 6, 12, 18 will give me 18. Would they give me 48? No, I need what? I need 84. So 6, 12, they won't give me, right? So which means that's going to be 12 and 7. 12 and 7 have to give me. So it's going to be, yes, 12 and 7 has to be. So it's 2x squared plus 12x plus 7x minus plus 14, 2. Right? So there we are. So do we have a factor of 7 and 42? So does 7 go into 42? Yes, it goes 6 times. Okay, yes, that's our factor. So it's going to be x minus 2. And then here is going to be, if I factor out 2x on the first 2, it's going to be 2x into x plus 6. And then if I factor out 7 here, it's going to be plus 7 into x plus 6. And then now it's going to be what? It's going to be x minus 2 into 2x plus 7 into x plus 6. So there we are. There is our factor, right? There is our factor. I've made a mistake here. It was supposed to be a negative and a negative. So it means that here it was supposed to be a negative and here a negative. So here is a negative and here is a negative. So that's my mistake. I'm sorry for that, right? I am sorry for that. Okay, sorry. That's a positive, but when we factor out, it becomes a negative. Yes. So there we are. All right, there we are. So which means that our factors is x is equal, our factors, our roots are what? X is equals to 0. X is equals to 0 or x is equals to 7 over 2. So x is equals to 2 or x equals to 7 over 2 or x is equals to 6. So those are our roots, right? So that is that straightforward, right? It is that straightforward, right? So let me quickly look at another one. Let me do another one for you guys. The last one, or not the last one, I can do 2 for you. So let me quickly do it, okay? And my video should not exceed 25 minutes. So let me do it quickly. Let me do it quickly. Let's do this one, okay? It went up there. It went up there. So let me just do this one. Where is it? This one here. It's still going up there. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Okay, so let's do this one again. This one, they said use the fact that f of 2 equals to 0. So f of 2 equals to 0, it means that 2 is our root, right? So our factor is going to be x minus 2, right? Because here is positive 2. When we write it as a factor, we change sign. I'm sure we all know that, right? So now they say let's use the fact that f of 2 is equals to 0 to do what? Let's use the fact that 2x of 2 is equals to 0 to write down factor of f of x. So here is the factor. It's fine. We are done with that one, right? So this is our 1.1. We found a factor. And then now they are saying calculate the coordinates of the x-intercept. So we want the other roots, because the other root they've given us is 2. So we need the other roots. So let's quickly find another root. So it's going to be what's going to be f of x is equals to x to the 3 minus 4x minus 11x plus 30. So our root is what? Our root is x plus 2. So it's f of x is equals to x minus 2 into, remember, I'm going to divide this one by the x here. So x to the 3 divided by x is going to be x squared, all right? And then after that, I'm going to divide what? Oh, this was 4x squared. So this one is going to be plus mx, All right, and then the last term here, the 30, I'm going to divide it with this negative 2. It's going to give me negative 15. So there we are. All right, the next thing that I have to do now is to find m. All right, is to find m. Then we can factorize and find the other root. Right, so remember x squared, we got it from here and here only. All right, and then the coefficient here is negative 4. All right, so I can start by saying negative 4 is equals to, here is 1 and m. 1 multiplied by m is m. All right, it's going to be m, and then the next one is going to be 2 multiplied by 1 here, which is going to be negative 2. So I can just write minus 2 instead of plus minus 2. Right, there we are. All right, and then we take 2 to the other side. Negative 4 plus 2 equals m. So our m becomes negative 2. All right, so it means that our equation is f of x is equals to x minus 2 into x squared minus 2x minus 15. All right, so now we can easily factorize is x minus 2 into x minus 5 and then x plus 3. So there we are. So our roots, it means that our roots is going to be what? Our roots is going to be x is equals to 2, or x is equals to 5, or x is equals to negative 3. So those are our roots, right? I'm sure you can see that this is very straightforward, right? You can see that this is very, very straightforward, right? So let's quickly do another one, right? Let's quickly do another one. I believe you guys can catch this very quickly, right? I trust you. I trust that you can catch this very quickly. So the next one that we didn't do, I think, is this one. Nope, we've done them all. So let's look at this one here. So with this one here, I don't have a root, right? I don't have a root, but here it is. It's x to the 3. Okay, yes, it's x to the 3 minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. So the first thing that I'll do is to try an error method. So it's 1 to the 3 minus 6 into 1 plus 11 into 1 minus 6. So what is the answer? This and this will be, yes, it's going to be 0. All right, so it means that 1 is our factor. All right, 1 is going to be our factor, because this and this is going to be negative 12, and then this and this, yes, this is going to be our factor. 1 is our factor, so it means 1 is our root, so factor is x minus 1, right? Because our root is positive 1, right? So I'm going to use this root, so I know that's going to be f of x is equals to x to the 3 minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. And then since x minus 1 is our factor, it's going to be x minus 1 and then x squared plus mx, and then 1 divided by negative 6 is going to be plus 6. There we are. All right, there we are. So now let's factorize. So to factorize, remember guys, this is going to be our coefficient that is for x squared. All right, so I can start by each negative 6. It should come from what? It should come from this and this, and then this and this. All right, so it's 1 and m, so it's going to be m, and the negative 1 and x and 1 is going to be minus 1. So take 1 to the other side, it's going to be negative 6 plus 5 equals m. Oh, sorry, I'm rushing to the answer. So it's going to be negative 6 plus 1 equals to m. So our m is going to be negative 5. I'm rushing to negative 5, right? Okay, so it means that our equation is f of x is equals to x minus 1 into x squared minus 5x plus 6, right? And then after that, we can now factorize the other part, right? So it's x minus 1 into x minus 6, and then x plus, nope, it's not going to be minus, because it's a plus there. They must have the same sign, so the same sign is going to be plus 2, and then x plus 3. No, it's not a plus, it's a minus. I'm making a lot of mistakes, right? Okay, so it's a minus, x minus 2 and x minus 3. So it means that our roots are going to be what? Our roots of the x-intercept is at x is equals to 1, or x is equals to 2, or x is equals to 3. So there we are, we're factorized completely, right? So hopefully you have learned something, right? Obviously in all my videos you will learn something new, right? So do the right thing, follow my YouTube channel for more videos like this one, right? So let's see each other in the next video. All right, so I'm sure you can now understand the roots of a cubic function. Why does it have 3 roots? Remember, a cubic function goes like this. So there we are. All right, so we have a root here, and a root there. All right, so there is our 3 roots. All right, it could be a quadratic cubic equation. We have 1 root, 2 roots, or 3 roots. In 2 roots is when we've got the turning point on the x-axis, right? When it's like this, we've got a root here and a root here, right? So here we would have found what? We would have found, let's say here maybe is -4, and here is 1, +1. All right, so if you want to write these roots here, it's going to be what? It's going to be x plus 4, and then here at 1 is going to be 2 of them, so we can write it as x minus 1 and x minus 1. But the best way is to write it as x plus 4 and then x minus 1 squared. So those are our roots of that equation, right? Those are our roots of that function, right? So hopefully you're going to do all your best, right? So this one comes with 5 marks, and I've seen learners struggling, and you know, when you struggle with questions that have 5 marks or more, you lose confidence, right? So this is just a confidence booster. Once you know the question that have got 5 marks, it boosts up your confidence, right? So let's call it a day, guys. We'll see each other in the next video.